Welcome back to the Wizard Shop. We have another wonderful Toyota product in the shop. And the customer states there is a mystery oil leak. Let's see if we can find it today. Let's get started. So the last Toyota that was in the shop, it actually had some rust issues. We've got it most of the way back together. We're almost finished with it and it'll go back to the customer soon. This one is in the shop, however, not for rust. This time it is an oil leak that's been very difficult to find. Let's go ahead and take a look around this thing and then let's dive in and see if we can find out this oil leak. Here is the front of the car. You can see it's missing a little balance piece down here, and also it's been repainted on the front bumper. You can see the colored variation there. I don't know what the story is there, but it's not here for that. These are really good cars. We had a RAV4, Mrs. Wizard. It was blue as well.
Yeah, it was a great little car.
Yep. Actually traded it for that old Harley back there, or one of the cars. Other than that, as you go down the side of this one, it's in decent shape. These are definitely a car I would recommend if you're looking for a small or medium SUV and you don't want it to be broken all the time. It has a nice cover over the spare tire, and that's definitely one thing to always check for a shop, to make sure that a person's spare tire actually has air in it, and we'll check that before it goes. But it's easy that they could take the cover off, and there's a second flat tire. That doesn't do them any good at all. It has the little rails on the side, step rails. Those are not rusted out. They're in good shape. It has good tires on it, nice meaty tires. This side is not damaged or repainted, and everything looks pretty good here as well. Let's go ahead and open the hood. So you can see also part of whatever happened to the front of this car. It has a new cover here, top cover, a new fuse box cover, a new battery. Not too sure what happened there. This has the 3.5 V6, and we have removed the plastic cover because we're looking for leaks. The front of the engine was completely coated in oil when it came in. There was so much oil it was hard to really decipher where it originated from. We've cleaned it all off, and now we're going to run it and see where is this coming from, this much oil. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the interior and see what it looks like.
Here we are, ladies and gents. Here's this gauge cluster, and you'll see it has 92,158 miles on it. So it does have a few miles, but not very many for being a Toyota product. As we look at the dash, you'll see no cracks, no major, tears or rips in this hard plastic environment. It is lots and lots of gray, and as we move down, lighter gray. So it's in really good shape, considering it is pretty hard to damage these really industrial pieces. Here we do have metal with kind of a brushed finish on it. That looks nice around our radio setup there. And as we move down, that metal is also around our HVAC systems as well. As we move down, you'll see further that we got cup holders, gear selector, nothing too crazy in here. Controls for the mirrors, and we do have some nice leather seats. Nice little upgrade. And it does have some perforated leather in the center as well. Door card has a little bit of that perforated leather there, and again, more dark gray in there also. As we move to our back seat, you'll see lots more leather, dove gray, and again, no rips in those seats, nothing going on, just in really good condition. Headliner's not sagging, everything's looking fabulous, no marks, no dents, nothing going on up there, just a boring sea of gray. As we end this with our steering wheel, it's looking good in here. It's a pretty basic, simple interior, but that's kind of what we come to expect for a Toyota product. We do have some controls there as well for, looks like what we see in front of us, our display button, and we have some mode selection with, looks like also radio controls as well. So not much going on here. So let's see what's going on underneath then.
So I've actually had Magic Mike check this out, and he's cleaned all of it up. We have kind of a suspicion that maybe this isn't a factory defect, that something has happened here, because we can see all these panels have been replaced. And when we took a look on the timing cover, it doesn't look like factory assembly procedures. So let's go ahead and get this thing up in the air and start looking around. And remember guys, the whole front of this thing was coated in oil. So it is cleaned off now. We're trying to get it to leak. So this frame and all these pieces and the timing cover were completely coated in oil, and Magic Mike has used brake cleaner on the side of the engine and completely cleaned all the oil sludge off so it's nice and dry. Let's take a look real quick. So you can kind of see that everything's nice and dry right now. There's the timing cover, there's the water pump, but we were seeing oil like right here on this bolt, just literally dripping. The whole front of this cover was coated in oil. All kinds of things were really just slathered in oil. Everything under here was dry though, as far as the oil pan or the transmission and things. It's only in the front of the engine where we were seeing the leak. Let's take a look at the rest of the car real quick, and then I'll have Magic Mike pull this wheel off. We can get a better look. So whatever hit didn't hurt the frame piece here. And you said everything was dry right in through here?
Yeah, everything behind the engine block was dry. Transmission was dry. I didn't see anything coming from up top.
Okay, let's go ahead and check the brakes while we're here. They're like new almost. Nothing loose. CV boots are good. The CV boots, you can see oil here. This oil is coming from whatever's leaking up above. We're still going to discover that. Brakes are good here. Nice and tight there. Let's move on back. Here's our charcoal canister, our catalytic converter, drive shaft. Everything looks to be intact there at stock. There's our muffler. Nice big fuel tank. Drive shaft's good. Keep in mind these are the drive shafts that when the U-joint goes bad, you buy an entire new drive shaft. Let me show you why. If you see all these little dots in here, those are stake marks where they actually smash the metal and hold the U-joint in place. If you were able to push the U-joint out and put a new one in, you will have no way to retain it and it will probably fall apart on you. These are considered not serviceable. I've actually taken these shafts to a couple of drive shaft rebuilders in Wichita, and they just hand it back to me and they're like, nope, bro, nope, these are not serviceable. We do not work on these. And I've had to replace the entire drive shafts for people just because the U-joint's bad. And yes, the entire drive shaft, both segments, here and all the way forward. There's a U-joint up front as well that can fail. And when one of them fails, you buy the whole thing. Kind of a bummer, but it's the way it is. So you're not seeing anything back here as well, leaks or?
I didn't see any problems with the rear end either. Everything's nice and tight. Bushings are still intact.
Check the brakes. The CV boots are good. Brakes are good. Nothing's loose there. The differential's dry. Boots are good. Yeah, it's just like you said, everything's dry back here. So definitely our oil leak is focused in the passenger wheel well, only in that area. So let's go ahead and lower this down a little bit and I'll have you pull the wheel off.
Sounds good.
So one thing that we noticed when we had the wheel off the first time we were really looking at this, Magic Mike noticed that the harmonic balancer has been soaked in oil for so long that the rubber, you can see here, it's like a gummy bear and the chunks are missing out of it. So we're going to definitely quote a harmonic balancer. But where is all this oil coming from? It's been difficult to find. And one thing we have found as well, Magic Mike showed me that the silicone here, something has been apart. Something has happened here.
It looks like the front timing case cover has been resealed at some point, possibly the upper oil pan, but you can see that that silicone is definitely not factory, the way it's splooged over the edge.
Yeah, we don't know if this was because of the accident or something else happened inside the engine, but definitely whatever's leaking oil, it's on the front and it's also taken out the harmonic balancer. I'll go ahead and lower this down. I'll have you start it. We'll see if it leaks.
Let's do it.
So now we have the engine running, and now it's the time to start watching for some leaks. We'll probably get some UV dye in there at some point if it proves really difficult to find. But so far we have let it run for quite a while, and there's just not a drop anywhere. It's dry, it just stays dry. He's went and driven it with all the panels and thing off, and still no leaks. It's very strange. Let's take a look. So you can see all the way up on the side by the water pump. Remember guys, that was all coated in oil. literally dripping from some of the bolts. And right now here it is running. There's not a drop anywhere. It just doesn't make any sense. We looked at some of these pipes right here I'm touching. This is some of the VTEC pipes, high pressure pipes. You can see it runs along the side right here. Maybe there was a pinhole or something, but no. They're nice and dry as well. Let's go ahead and lower it down and look at the top of the engine. So here we are up top of the engine with the engine running as well, and we can take a look at some of the places that could be leaking. We got cam sensors, valve cover gasket. Here's some more of those high pressure oil lines I talked about, even the oil cap. There's several places. Here's an actuator there for the variable valve timing. There's several places that could be leaking oil, even down in the valley in here, but it's not. It's very baffling. One thing I do see is a bolt sticking out on the valve cover. It's not all the way in, and maybe the cracked right there, but again, even being so, it's still not leaking. It's very, very strange. So obviously the engine's running well. The oil is full. We're definitely going to do an oil change while it's here, regardless if we find anything or not. I'll go ahead and have you go turn off the motor real quick.
Sounds good.
So this one's kind of baffling. It's possible that there was something that was fixed or repaired and they just didn't clean the oil, or this one's kind of strange. It's currently running, everything's dry, and even if we go and drive it, it stays dry. This is going to be a challenge for you. This is Wednesday, and hopefully you can find it by Friday.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Or you might be working late on the weekend.
I hope I can get it figured out by Friday.
I hope so too. And it's a challenge for you guys. So the video will be out on Sunday, and I want you guys to post in the comments section what you thought was wrong with this. And I will post in the comments what we actually found and see if it matches up and what it actually was. But right now, we're not finding anything. We're going to put the UV dye in it, continue to let it run, drive it a couple more times, and see what we can find. So between Magic Mike and you guys, let's see what actually causes the oil leak on this engine. What is going on here? There's kind of a story that's not fully being told. Maybe it's to do with that, or maybe, who knows? We'll have to find out. And if we get time, we might post this on Instagram for you and show you the leak that we actually found, and that will give you the answer you were looking for and also that we're looking for. But it's here to find this oil leak. Apparently it's leaving puddles everywhere, but right now it's not. Really, really strange. So I definitely wanted to show you guys this really nice Toyota, and I don't believe whatever's going on here is caused by factory defect, because Toyotas really are great, great vehicles. You guys know I really recommend them. This is a very good vehicle. Like I said, if you're looking for a mid-size or small SUV, don't be looking at the GMC Terrains. Get a Toyota. You'll thank me later. And you've got your work cut out for you to find out what's going on with this thing.
Yeah, I got to get started. I got some plans this weekend. I really don't want to be here.
No, I wouldn't either. So let's see if we can find out what's going on with this thing. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to find and fix this leak, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, because there's bus videos and all kinds of things going on in the shop. Thanks for watching.